Alright lads and lasses, let's get cracking there. Week 2, Dataset 6 were video games. Now, what we're doing with video games, I'm going to build this in. If you remember, week 2, we're going to start doing the model and prepare. Yeah, so actually what do we need to do? Now it's going to be almost as simple as I can get. Couple of refreshers on here, couple of things to go through in terms of what we need to do. But if you remember, week 1 went through, it's a really simple flat file. I tell you what, let's get rid of my face there. That'd make all the difference. God, it's an ugly mug in it. Right. Crack on. Into week 2, we're going to go through, we're going to transform the data. What we need to do, we're going to go in Power BI Desktop, take you through it step by step. We're going to get the data, pull in the text file, and then run through a number of transformation steps when we hit transform data. Those transformation steps, number 1, we're going to add an index to it. Number 2, we're going to copy the table. Then we're going to unpivot the sales around the index value. And then we'll do just the jiggery-pokery, tidying it up. Yeah, perfect. I think that makes perfect sense. Make a lot more when we crack on into it in the demo, yeah? Alright, so here we are, Power BI Desktop. Dead simple, dead easy to use, isn't it? Right, nothing to worry about here. There's blank screen. So many people have come to us. What do I do now? Right, simple. Let us go. That will get data. I want to get a text or CSV file in this case. Pick the one that you've got. It's the one you would have downloaded from Kaggle if you remember. Now you remember my screenshot. This here, my biggest bugbear about the Power BI product is still this load button. Never ever use that load button, right? Honestly, it'll just cause you problems. Hit transform data. Up comes when used dataset. So we've loaded with CSV file. Dead easy from here. What did I say we were going to do? First thing, we're going to add a column, and it's going to be an index column, isn't it? So we're going to click add columns. Want to add an index column. It's up to you if you want to go in with zeros or ones. And a lot of people prefer to go in with the ones. So we're going with the ones for now. So we're going to start an index column from 1. Row number 1 is 1. Row number 2 is 2. Dead easy, isn't it? This, how we can do this, we can count. Never thought you'd come to my channel to learn to count, did you? Right? Got that done. Next step, let's duplicate this. Now, the reason we're going to duplicate it is because we've got these sales columns, haven't we? In terms of how many sales we've got in different regions. And that's just inefficient, man. I'm going to have to write all sorts of stuff to do lots of things on these. Much easier, much more efficient for the storage, of course, to put them all in one column. Because what do we say about what goes on in Power BI? It's columnar. It looks for columns. It looks for columns to compress. It looks where there's similar values, right? These are numbers, which is always easy to compress. Let's get them all in one column. Best way to do that, unpivot. So how do we get this done all around here? Keep it efficient. Let's duplicate it. So we're going to right click on it, choose to duplicate. We've now got 2 copies of it. And the thing I said was we're going to fold this or unpivot it around the index column. So what that means is we're going to highlight the sales columns. And then I'm going to highlight and going to select, the index column, right click on it and remove the other columns. Okay, so we've removed all the other columns. I've just got the columns that I want. I said we're going to unpivot it around index. We're going to click on index, right click on it and unpivot other columns. Suddenly I've got my index. I've got my sales location, so we're going to call this location, and I've got sales, and that's going to be in millions, isn't it? I'm hoping, guessing, right? Sales in millions. Dead easy, that, like. Last thing we need to do then, really, is going to be just to tidy things up a little bit. So if we come back here, you can see we've got this. Let's call this sales. And let's just call this video games. Yeah. Nothing too complicated, nothing too difficult. So we're nearly done now. There's a couple of things you might still want to do with your data sets in terms of actually just further making it more efficient. So we could say, well, we're platforms. we want our platforms to be in a certain order, or we could say with genre, we need our genres to be in a certain order, in a consistent order at all times. I'll tell you what, let's do platform actually. Platform probably makes sense that we might try and build a bit of a subdimension for, yeah? So we could right click on that and we could say, add as a new query. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm saying I want platform as a query on its own, yeah? And you can see I've got all my steps that I had before, but so watch out when you do this because you could end up with an awful lot. And then all we're going to do is we're going to right click on it. I'm going to remove the duplicates. So I've got, here's my distinct list of products, yeah? And then I can convert that into a table. Click OK. Right, so I've now got a table. This is going to be platform, isn't it? Okay. We could do things with this platform. We could go through and maybe like try and add in manufacturer for them. You know, so let's see, Wii, that's Nintendo, NES, Nintendo, DS, Nintendo, 360's Microsoft, isn't it? Sony, Nintendo, Sony. We could maybe, you know, it makes sense to go through, do that. And that would be something that you would go in and you could do. So we could go in, we could add a column, a conditional column, be the easiest way to do this. You can manufacturer. Manufacturer, I think that's right. That's not looking right, but I haven't. Let's see if it begins with PS, then let's output Sony, add a clause, platform. If it equals, because we'd probably have to do, you know, this would go on, wouldn't it? Aye. GB, let's see. Nintendo. You'd carry on, you'd add all those in, hit OK. You can see we've now started to build that manufacturer table. So you could extend that, you could go through, you could do the legwork on that, and you'd be able to populate all of these with what the manufacturer was. So you were starting to build out that dimension. Your last step today would be to do your duplication again here with your index column. So we'd add our index again. Plat ID. Okay. And then we'd go back to our video games. And then now we'd be able to actually merge this together with the platform ID and then replace that with the platforms, yeah? With that ID number. And an ID is always going to be more efficient to store than text. So you can repeat, rinse and repeat, do something similar with genre, with publisher, with the rest. It's up to you, right? But for the sake of this, I'm going to delete platform. And then I'm also going to finish what we need to do here in the video games, and we're going to delete these sales tables, or columns, sorry, from here. Hi. There we go, and right click, remove columns. So now I've got two tables instead of that one CSV file that I had. And if we click close and apply, what you see is at the end, once it's all finished applying, I've got me two tables and I can go into my relationships and I can see they're joined on this index. So what it means is that I've got a record about what the video game is, and I've got a number of sales depending on where it's from. Easy, simple. I think so. I'm sure you will all be able to get your hang on it. Get a hang of it, eh? So that's week 2, right? I hope you've enjoyed it. Keep coming back. Don't forget, go and download the data from Kaggle, bring it into your Power BI desktop file, start this work. You're going to really enjoy this data set. Catch us all on Tuesday. Ta-da.